It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us here on CCN Sunrise. And today's show is all things baby. It's the number one thing on my mind. I'm going to be due in next month, May 11th, but Dr. Michelle's here and she's due in just a couple weeks. She's here. She's going to be talking about baby names and how important it is.
It sounds important. Family Promise helps with homeless families. They'll be here. And event planner Crystal Armstrong with ideas for your baby shower. All that's coming up today. You don't want to miss it. Hey, we are vibing today.
We're just matching. Always vibing, right?
Let me ask you a question. When we told my oldest boy that my wife was pregnant again, he was not happy.
Oh, no.
How did your son react? How did you tell him?
We did record it, and he was super excited. He's been practicing with his cat, which she's not so thrilled about. So I have this really grainy video of us telling him. My mother-in-law was in town, and she was there. We're in our messy room, but I love the part where he tells the cat, so I want to show you this video. You did a whole production. Yes.
Guess what, Ashton? Next year, you're going to be a big brother.
I am?
Uh-huh.
And Mama's going to have a little baby.
We are?
Yeah. So would you take good care of it and not squish it?
Hey, Luna! They're gonna have a new baby!
Just like, I'm out of here.
Okay, I'm so embarrassed about the messy house.
I would have called a cleaning woman first.
I probably should have.
But that was very cute. And you say he shared the whole thing with the cat. He's been practicing being a big brother with the cat.
And you know, the poor cat, like she is so easygoing. She takes all of his abuse. Like he's always tugging at her and like trying to rock her and all of that. But she's just like, are you kidding me? Another one? Like, I've done enough for you. Give me a break. So let's see. Maybe he'll give her a little bit of a break.
Well, he'll have company
exactly.
in a month or two.
Well, now we're going to head off into the news with CCN's Jesse Mogle.
And now, CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood starts right now.
Hello, Sehnita and Joseph. Here are some of the headlines making news right here in the San Gabriel Valley. Usually we see police making sure protests are peaceful, but this past week, Pasadena Police were the ones doing the protesting. Dozens of officers gathered at City Hall with their marching shoes on, asking for higher pay and a working contract. CCN's Hannah Townsley was there.
I'm standing outside the Pasadena City Hall where members of the Police Officers and Police Sergeants Associations are protesting the City Council to prevent the collapse of the department. Monday evening, dozens of members of the Pasadena Police Department, along with their friends and families, marched around City Hall with signs demanding higher pay, fewer hours, and a working contract.
There are several factors out there, mainly compensation. We're well behind, but there's also other issues as far as getting solid equipment for the officers to use and things of that nature.
Police demonstrators say the PPD is on the verge of collapse. They took the protests inside City Hall to warn council members about the problems they say could cause the department to implode.
We are already having trouble filling patrol teams. We have to constantly hire officers. If we have another 20 to 25 senior officers leave, our department is going to be in a lot of trouble.
City management publicly acknowledged the police department is critically understaffed and needs to hire more officers, yet authorized positions were allowed to go from 260 in 2007 to 239 presently.
Officer Veronica Burris also says low pay, the possibility of demotion, and payroll problems are driving many good officers away.
In terms of salary and benefits, we have not only failed to keep pace with other agencies, but have sunk to almost the last position in the survey of a relevant labor market. Morale amongst the officers has also further eroded by the fact that city management has been unable to resolve what is perceived as a relatively simple payroll glitch that prevents our officers from being accurately paid for the time they have worked.
Vice Mayor Jackie Robinson told police the council will work on addressing their concerns.
We appreciate your continued dialogue, and we continue to look forward to continuing to work with you so that we can quickly resolve these issues.
Currently, there are 16 officer positions vacant in the department. By addressing their issues at tonight's council meeting, officers hope that their voices were heard In Pasadena, Hannah Townsley, CCN.
Pasadena Police Chief Phillips Sanchez was unavailable for comment on our story. However, Sergeant Kress says officers do have his support and that of the command staff and lieutenants. He says City Manager Michael Beck is also supportive and that he's trying to work with the police department on the issues you heard about in Hannah's report. Are you ready for the big one? Local seismologists say it could arrive even sooner than they thought. CCN's Toni Meed joins us live with the story. Hello, Toni.
They call it the big one because an earthquake that hits 8 or higher on the Richter scale can cause a lot of damage. Some of you might remember the destruction caused by the 1994 Northridge quake, which was just a 7 on the Richter scale, or 10 times smaller than what's predicted. U.S. Geological Survey officials say the chances that we see the big one in California within 30 years have gone up. Seismologists say there's a greater chance now more than ever that California will see a magnitude 8.0 earthquake, otherwise known as the big one, within 30 years. And while no one really knows when an earthquake will strike, seismologists say they're learning more about what causes earthquakes. Apart from the shifting of tectonic plates, Susan Hoff over at Caltech says,
in recent years, especially oil and gas exploration activities have been shown to cause earthquakes, especially in the central eastern U.S., where there's a lot of activity in Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas. There's the hydrofracking, which breaks up rocks, that causes minor earthquakes, but that produces huge volumes of wastewater. And to get rid of it, they drill and inject it deep in the crust. And that process of injection is inducing or triggering sometimes moderate earthquakes that we've seen recently in Oklahoma and Kansas.
Seismologists also say they've recently learned that faults are connected, and that may be another reason scientists are saying it's very likely California will experience the big one within 30 years.
We can say that somewhere in the state, for example, it's almost certain that you'll have a Northridge-sized earthquake in the next 30 years, like 6.7. But that's the entire state, which includes offshore of Cape Mendocino. It includes the desert, where we've seen a couple of big earthquakes in 92 and 99.
The question now, is California prepared? Are you prepared for an earthquake?
No, not really.
So what if the big one hits?
Well, hopefully it doesn't get to this point.
So in the meantime, emergency crews warn us all to be prepared. Have a bag ready with at least 3 days of canned foods, 5 gallons of water, a flashlight, medicine, batteries, and some clothes. Jesse, back to you.
Thank you, Toni. Recently, Congressman Adam Schiff, along with 35 other West Coast members of Congress, called for $16.1 million to be allocated to next year's budget for an earthquake early warning system. This would be the cost to construct, operate, and maintain the system. The funds are $12.6 million more than what is requested in the president's budget, yet the members of Congress say this is common sense savings considering FEMA's estimate that earthquakes cost more than $5 billion a year when averaged over the long term. Police are asking the public to help them find the lone female suspect in the brutal attack of an 87-year-old Pasadena man who was beaten and robbed as he took a morning walk near the Rose Bowl Friday, March 27th. Police say 19-year-old Idaline Yvonne Alvarado of Rowland Heights may have joined the three in the horrific attack on the elderly man. The Pasadena Police Department has 3 of the 4 suspects in custody. Those 3 young men have been charged with attempted murder and robbery of the elderly man as he walked on West Drive north of Salvia Canyon Road. All 3 male suspects voluntarily turned themselves into authorities by Tuesday, March 31st. Pasadena PD's Lieutenant Teresa Rojas tells us, quote, "It's a bit unusual," end quote, for the suspect to turn themselves in on a crime like this, and that the clarity of the gas station photos helped the police identify the suspects. Lieutenant Rojas also says detectives are always passionate about solving crimes, but that they wanted to find the suspects in this crime against an 87-year-old man quickly before there were any more victims. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Alvarado can call Pasadena Police Detective Timothy Bundy at 626-744-3953. That's all the news for today. Joseph and Sehnita, back to you.
4 people on an 87-year-old. I mean, that's
cowards.
Just,
3
seriously.
grown men. That's, I mean, nevertheless, but 3 men, that's cowardly, and
Very
I
cowardly.
hope they put them underneath the jail.
Yeah, that's not going to work out well for them.
But Jesse, the Final Four is
On
here.
a lighter note,
Yeah, I know, a little bit lighter.
March Madness is culminating. Tomorrow is whenever the Final Four starts. You've got Duke versus Michigan State. You've got the Kentucky Wildcats versus the Wisconsin Badgers. It's going to be
two
marvelous.
Big Ten teams. That's what I'm excited
Could
about.
you
No
believe it?
Michigan, but two Big Ten.
No Florida
I'm
Gators
sorry,
either.
Is it football season yet? Somebody wake me when it's football
Wake
season.
me when it's football season. But the championship is Monday night, so that's good for anybody who likes college basketball. That will be happening.
Somehow a plant just joined our table. I don't know what that's about.
It just grew here.
Just
watering
blossomed out of March Madness, I guess. But anyway, coming up, imagine trying to get your kids to school, look for a job and housing while you're homeless.
We'll tell you how a local nonprofit makes a promise to help struggling families, and that's next. But before you go away, we have a surprise. As you all know, Sehnita, my co-host, as she announced, is due next month. These are for you, my lovely.
Thank you. That's how they just arrived, huh?
They just arrived, and we
Perfect
have
for
another
Easter.
surprise for you. Today is your baby shower from us. We have lots of surprises throughout the show.
Oh, fun stuff. Yay, that's how this came about, huh?
Yes.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, don't go away. Lots more.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Enroll, we say, we want you to be okay. Enroll, we say, take care of people for goodness sake. There's a plan for every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
A local nonprofit offers support to homeless families so they can get back on their feet. Karen Roberson, board chairman of Family Promise of San Gabriel Valley, joins us live to tell us how they help these families. Now, how long has this organization been around?
Actually, Family Promise has been around a little over 3 years, so we're really pretty
Fairly
new.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you a shelter or are you just a service agency?
Well, we provide safe sleeping space. We're not a brick and mortar shelter. We have a collection, a network of host congregations, and we believe that the faith community provides us with a great deal of support and volunteers. But what we do is the host congregations agree to host families inside the walls of their church 7 nights at a time, 4 times a year. So we have 13 host congregations, which covers 52 weeks
rotate.
a year. Yes. So we have a day center we call the Hope Center, where we actually provide services, case management. It's where the kids go off from school. We have showers and laundry. But the churches actually receive the families at night, have dinner with them, have some activities, tutor the kids, and then sleep inside that church.
How central, I'm curious, how central is this faith element to your mission? In other words, is there prayer? Do the participants engage in
Do they
faith
need to be of the same
No.
faith?
This is not a religious program. The faith community provides a resource, and the volunteers do it as part of their faith walk. But it is not, we're an interfaith program. We have families who don't have any religious preferences. We have Muslim families. We've had a Muslim family, just one. But
whoever needs
whoever
the
needs,
service.
and they're not required to engage in any religious practices. They're welcome to if they wish, but they're not required in any way.
I think, the saddest thing thinking about families is these young kids. A lot of times kids are so resilient, they don't know any better. But what has been your experience with
the interesting thing is I loved the introduction of you telling your child about having the baby, because you guys were in a bed. There are 529,000 children in California in 2013 that didn't have a bed. So so children are used to having certain things. These kids don't have refrigerators where there's snacks when they come home from school, other than what we provide. So it's a pretty tough time for the kids, and the little ones are resilient, and so what we want to do is sustain them and keep their resilience, because in the traditional shelter system sometimes it's not particularly child friendly.
I would imagine it's also difficult to get your schoolwork done, to have outside activities. So being a child is difficult.
Yeah.
You have an event coming up April 19th in Sierra Madre. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, it's a great event. It's a lot of fun, and it's really, this is the 4th year that we're having it. It's called Empty Bowls, and we have a wonderful group of local artists from Pasadena, Sierra Madre, and actually as far away as Big Bear and Studio City. And they donate handmade beautiful soup bowls. And the people who participate, they register for $30. There are some of the artists that are there that have some of their wares that they could sell in addition to our fundraiser. And then we have local restaurants that provide a choice of soups. So we have a whole collection of soups. So the participant selects the bowl of their choice. They select the soup of their choice. We have music, we have, a little bit of activity, and they get to see an actual prototype room where we host the families.
That is so great, and they can find out about that on your website. Do you have a website?
They can. It's www.fpsgv.org.
Say it again.
www.fpsgv.org.
Okay, and it's just great. I know it must be really rough for those parents, but helping them get back on track is amazing.
And we actually had 5 babies born while in our program.
Oh my goodness! Wow. So you hosted
Over
some
the
baby
course
showers.
Of the program, not all on the same day.
No, not in the same day.
Well,
no, but we did have twins.
Thank you so much for being here and telling us about this.
Thank you so much. I stay.
Yeah.
Well, what's in a name? That's the question that keeps expecting parents up at night. Well, that's before the baby, until they come up with the perfect name for their baby.
Dr. Michelle is here, and she's going to tell us how the name you choose can impact your child's future. Next in the CCN Family to Family segment, stuff keeps appearing from everywhere.
Oh my gosh, my sister's here.
Family members. Get a hug in.
What is happening?
You hug each other out there and come back and join us for the rest of our baby shower.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Have you chosen a name for your baby yet?
Oh, gosh, I have not. Even for my son, we waited till the hospital, so I don't know.
The very last minute?
We did.
That can be dangerous.
It can be.
You can wake up out of the shock and the grog and just name the first thing you see, IV.
We had some idea. I mean, we had a basic plan, but you want to see the baby, right? But you have a name picked out.
Yes. My little one's name's going to be Dylan.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
That's very nice.
For a
Of
little
course,
girl,
we used
right?
family
Yes.
names, so it was easy because and we also knew ahead of time. Well, names, it's important. Dr. Michelle is here with her family to family segment. We were talking about names.
Yes.
How important is it, and can what you name your child really impact their future?
You know, there is more emerging research on that, and they are finding sort of links between names and success and self-esteem. So we'll talk about that, yes. You know, parents-to-be spend countless hours deciding on the perfect name for their child. It's definitely a challenging task for many, but parents are wise to work hard at it. A growing body of research suggests that a child's name may have a profound impact that persists into adulthood, including areas of self-esteem, socioeconomic status, expectations, and even first impressions. According to David Figlio of Northwestern University, the rise in popularity of a baby name book is a result of parents' thoughts about a child's identity and how a name influences the way a child thinks about themselves and how they are perceived by others. You know, historically, names have erupted from different sources, like relatives or close friends, religious traditions, family lineage. You know, think John the 12th. You know, more recently, parents are looking for uniqueness in their child's name, including spelling and pronunciation. We've all heard Scout, Apple, or Blue Ivy. You know, another important finding in choosing a child's name is that different names are popular among different social classes and internationally, and these groups have different opportunities and goals. Just as a person's accent or clothing may indicate something about individual's character, so can a first name. In looking at the impact of self-esteem, growing research has shown a strong link between a person's like or dislike of his or her name and high and low self-esteem, respectively. People who particularly dislike their name, or if others don't think it's a good name, many face some problems. On the flip side, psychologists often speak of implicit egotism, feelings we have about ourselves. If we think highly of our name, we're more likely to feel good about ourselves. Also, the link between a name and success in later life may be attributed to the kids' expectations of themselves. Names that sound as though they come from a family of a lower socioeconomic status might be tagged as being less capable or achieving less. You know, there's so many factors when coming up with names. It's interesting, and I wanted to let you guys know there was a survey done of the top 3 smartest names for boys. They were Atticus, Solomon, and Truman.
Sounds very.
And Solomon being smart. I'm
Solomon
shocked.
being smart. And for girls, it was Catherine, Zenaid, and Maritza.
Now, those
Does that
are
give
more
you some ideas?
international names,
Internationally,
because
yes.
I haven't met any Zenaibs or Maritzas. Maritza.
Yes.
I have 3 sons, and we missed the boat on each of them. But my sons are very bright and very accomplished, so I think that's good.
Yes.
But I love that you chose yours from a song title.
Well,
or
my
an
husband
artist.
likes Bob Dylan, so we chose.
Oh my gosh, things again.
And more things are appearing.
We just turn around and like Miss Price is Right lady comes
because
out.
Dr. Michelle is expecting as well.
I am.
Now, I have to tell you, so that you don't feel left out, I had a gift for you as well. The gift elf who's been coming back and forth didn't bring it, but it's backstage.
Thank you.
Do we open this now? What do we do? Or we'll come back.
Okay.
Well, and you know, the thing we're going to talk about, which none of us pregnant ladies
Yes.
like to talk about, is getting back in shape after baby. It's so tricky for most moms to figure out, on top of an already full schedule, how to get back in shape.
But Loa shows us how working out with your baby helps moms and dads get back in shape and bond with their baby, and that's coming up next.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Sehnita, there's a lot of pressure on moms to get back in shape after the birth. Was it easy for you after the first time?
You know, it was, except for my mom made this mixture that she was like, oh, this is so healthy for you. And it was full of butter and nuts and things like that, which could have been
healthy.
Which could have been great if I didn't inhale it. So I started out getting back on track, and then I was like, oh, look, that's
What about the
gaining on me.
exercise? I mean, did you walk? Did you run? Did you go back to the gym?
It was hard. It did take a while to figure out the schedule. That's the hardest part of it. How do you make it work with, a little one and trying to get to the gym and things like that?
It's tricky. You bring it into your life however you can. After my second son, I remember once we were at a park. I put him in the middle of the park and I jogged around so I could keep my eyes on him the whole time. I just needed to move. I needed to get out in the sunlight and move my body. And I remember thinking, this is odd. My kids are over there. But anyway, it worked. And however you can work it out in your day is the best way to do it.
But
that's
such
where
an
husbands
obsession.
help
You're
too.
supposed to pretend like you never even had the baby. You're just supposed to spring back into shape, right?
I've got news for you. Dads put on weight during pregnancy
Yes,
as
they
well.
do.
And so strapping the baby on your back in a backpack and hiking up a hill, which is what I did, to try to lose some of that baby weight.
Well, you were able to show how moms can work with a little baby, and a little Benjamin Devine helped you out with that, right?
I had such a
Tammy's
good time with
little
little
one.
Benjamin. That post-baby body obsession might not be healthy, but exercising with the baby helps give extra energy despite sleepless nights and lets you bond with your baby. Sweet baby Benjamin Devine, our own Tammy's 1-year-old, joined me in the CCN Fit and Beautiful segment with moves mom can use to get their baby back in shape. Oh, I'm gonna get you. Come on. Oh, you're so fast. You're so fast. All right. Yes, you are. So here we go. Benjamin is 1 and he's 20 pounds. So that means he's gonna give me a little bit of run for my money. So here we go. This is where we start. The first thing we're gonna do is just kind of get the warm up happening. Get your body warm, and this is where we let the baby know that it's fun time. It means play time with mommy, and they know it's coming. So we start right here. Then we get a little bigger and put a dip in it. Nice and low, tap, squat, tap, squat, tap, squat. Good, and he's gonna start to like it. So whenever you start your workout, get yourself a really good mixtape. First song is for baby, so he kind of knows what's coming every time you put it in. The rest of the tape is for you. We're gonna drop this into a plie squat, the most efficient way to sculpt and tone. Squat and squeeze. At the top of the lift, tighten the glutes, get low, and squeeze, low and squeeze. Now make sure your chest is open, you're not cowering. We'll keep it all up nice and strong, down and back. Press through the heels and tighten the glutes. Get low and squeeze. Then we turn to the side. You ready? You ready? Here we go. Oh, this is a good one. You're gonna like this one. Nice long lunge here. Hips forward, ribs forward, pivot. Same thing on this side. Making sure baby is supported, always protecting the back of baby's head. Down and back, down and back. Nice and low and back. The next one is what's called a curtsy. So get nice and low and back. Step, step behind, and reach out, and then step back and behind. Let you and the weight of the baby drop down to get keeping the belly tucked in. Down and back. Good. Now we're going to bring it down to the mat. Sitting down, draw your knees up. We're going to set him right over the tops of your legs, one leg on each side. Take hold of his hands and then kind of roll down. And bring yourself up into a sit-up and roll back. Baby comes closer to you and away, and closer and away. Next one is we're going to do a chest press. So this is the fun part. As you roll up with the baby, now we're just going to bring your body right back down, bring the baby right up on top of the chest, and push up, extend your arms straight, and just bring him right back in. And this is a great time for peekaboo. Push up, and bring him right back in. And then we'll move into the cooling down part. Bring the baby on his back, and you're gonna push up into a down dog. And you can kind of talk to the baby. And let's bring the right leg, just tuck it right underneath the body. And this is the cuddle part. Just settle down, extend your arms, drop down to the baby. You can talk, you can pat your little baby's tummy. It's a wonderful cuddling time. So, what'd you think? You did good. I'm proud of you. Thanks, Benjamin. The weight gain of pregnancy can cause slouching, tired posture, and weakened abdominal muscles. And new moms need to train their bodies back in shape, and babies need to be played with and watched and cuddled. So exercising with your baby is a win-win situation. And it teaches baby that movement is fun. It's kind of like tumbling in the safety of your mom's arms. It's precious bonding time as well, and it's educational. You can go over animal sounds and talk and practice counting, and all while mom gets her body back. But it's super important to remember to keep your body upright, abs drawn in, and your chest open while you perform these exercises so we can retrain that spine.
And have a cute little baby like little Benjamin. How
yes.
can you resist
that? He was
that?
so much fun. He was just active and all over the place.
Oh my gosh, she comes again!
I think this is something from Loa,
That's
right?
from me, yes.
Oh my gosh!
Just pull it out of there.
I'm
there's
not
lots
sure if
more
I'm
coming up
opening
in the
it.
next
There's
half
a
hour.
lot in here.
Veteran filmmaker Reynolds.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help.
Enroll, we say. We want you to be okay. Enroll, we say. Take care, people, for goodness sake. There's a plan for every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still
Buy me treats. You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
It's time to wake up, San Gabriel Valley, with CCN Sunrise.
We are back with our second half hour, and it is full of surprises. Things keep popping up out of nowhere. But we're going to find out about Easter activities at the Langham coming up.
And Crystal Armstrong is here helping us plan the perfect baby shower.
But we're going to get right into the morning buzz. Iran talks are still in the news. Do Iran and the U.S. have an agreement, or don't they? Right after finishing talks in Switzerland, Iran calling Obama administration liars again. Veteran film and filmmaker F. Lee Reynolds joins us for the morning buzz. You know, this is a historic. It's not an agreement just yet. They're just working on the framework. They're now going to be writing it. But this is historic. I mean, we brought them to the table. That's exactly what we need to do. Do you agree with that, or should we not be talking to our enemies and just put up a big wall?
Well, yeah, I think it's historic in the fact that we've been talking to them for 2 years. And I like engagement. I think it's always good when we can get to the table and talk with people. So I'm not opposed to us talking with the Iranians or anybody. But as far as this agreement right now, I'm not satisfied that it's a good agreement. You know, I'm afraid
it's the substance of the agreement, which is important. The talking is good, but what you come out with, just what is the end game?
What's missing?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have an agreement.
We won't have an agreement officially until June 30th.
Exactly.
But what the details that the president put out, I think are lacking. I think that it really. I don't trust the Iranians, bottom line.
Well, we have a complicated relationship with them. Right now, we're fighting with them in Tikrit. Yeah. We're fighting against them in Yemen. So obviously it's complicated. You know, they're not an easy place. But, you know, we're not selling arms to them right now. That's a good thing.
How does this impact our true and only ally in the region, Israel?
Well, you know, Israel is completely against it. Israel believes that this doesn't help keep the bomb away from them, that it's more of a path to the bomb. Well, but my concern, though, is here that if we do sign this agreement, right now, you know, we have these economic sanctions against Iran. Iran is our enemy on some of the battlefields. Some of the battlefields they're working with us now in Iraq. You know, I'm an Army Reserve officer. I served in Iraq, and the Iranians were the ones fighting against us. The Iranians were the ones funding our enemies there.
It's a very complicated region and a complicated subject. We're going to move on to home, to Indiana. The Religious Freedom Act that was signed last week by Mike Pence. And now it just seems like things have boiled over. Pizzeria, just the other day, got caught on tape saying that they would not service a gay or lesbian wedding, and now they are, looks like they might be out of business, Sehnita.
Well, you know what? A reporter went to them, asked for their opinion. They gave it. There was no hidden camera. There was no, you know, I mean, we get people's reactions all the time. They gave it.
You don't think they were singled out? This reporter singled them out,
I
drove
think
30
she went
minutes
to a small town and got
to
some
that
reaction.
particular pizzeria with crosses on the wall?
Well, I mean, you know, they have it inside. It wasn't marked, come see me. But they gave the interview. They sat down at the table, they gave the interview, and they said that they would not cater a gay wedding with their pizza, which, you know, I'm not sure if a gay wedding would go for pizza.
That was my first reaction too. But you know what? Kudos to these people on one hand for standing up for what they believe their principles are. But I think on the other side of it, all the hate that's coming, you know, for whatever they're being criticized for, what they're getting on the other side, I think, is even worse.
Hate on either side is horrible, and death threats on either side.
To burn the building down,
that's ridiculous.
To show up and steal their money, to
those
beat
things
them
are
up,
ridiculous.
to kill their families.
Right.
But you know, they're saying, hey, it's 2015, you know, why should we have to feel this kind of oppression? That's exactly the point the LGBT community is trying to make, and why they're so against this bill. So I feel like maybe they're understanding what the other side feels now.
But I don't think the LGBT community is understanding what the bill is saying too.
I think they are, and that's why Mike Pence is changing it, so that businesses aren't able to do this.
Well, he's clarifying it, but yes.
Well, let's talk about this drought here in California. We don't want to run out of time, and Governor Brown is forcing the cities in the state to cut back 25%. I have a feeling that my water bill is about to go through the roof.
Well, you know, I don't know if it's just Governor Brown. I think it's the fact that there is no water.
Exactly.
There is no water to be had. So somehow we've got to figure out a system, right?
Right. No, I agree. Something has to be done because of the drought. But I think we're all going to pay. We're going to pay more for water. And we all have to cut back. Some of those things I think are good. I think what we have to also look at is the farmers. That there is, from my understanding, that there's some waste in how the farmers do things as well. But they're not being held to any standard right now as part of
nut
this bill.
farmers are, it's a very lucrative thing that they got into with the almond farms. But it takes I think a gallon an almond every day per almond. So it's very wasteful, but it's hard because they made a lot of money in investment in these almond farms.
We're also diverting gallons and gallons of water from farmland into the ocean, aren't we? There are environmental concerns that are involved with this. My question has to do with we live on the coast.
Yes,
there is 187 quintillion gallons of water right to the west of us.
Which is very, very salty. So
but desalination. I mean, the Middle East relies on desalination plants, and we live in a desert. We have to understand that. Southern California here, Los Angeles, is a desert. So I think we need to take advantage of it. I know it's costly, but I think that's something that would be smart for the state to invest in.
Well, we're going to see what, if any of these water conservation measures are going to help. But Lee, we thank you so much for being here and having this conversation with us.
I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, and there's more surprises. Every time I turn around, this is like the best show.
The second time is a charm.
I love getting pregnant.
I know you guys got.
I love getting gifts.
You guys got to give it a try.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, we'll be back with more when we come back.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Preventing wildfires. That's all Smokey wants for his 70th birthday.
Easter is this Sunday, April 5th. You better hop to it with making your family plans. One place kids and babies always seem to have fun is the Easter brunch at the Langham Huntington in Pasadena. This year brings a host of photo ops with kids at an Easter egg hunt on the lawn, a kids fun train, and a cute animal petting zoo. The event is for the whole family, of course, with plenty of food to eat at the brunch, including lots of colorful, festive, not to mention delicious foods and desserts. Featured delicacies will be served by chefs at carving, omelet, and dessert stations. The kids will also have their own mini buffet Easter food station.
You can't beat that. Well, it used to be that mature women of a certain age were looking forward to being grandmothers. I hope they're not talking to me with this mature woman thing. But anyway, today technology has made it possible for women to have babies at a much older age.
Mary Winters is here to talk about some of the issues involved with older women conceiving babies with and without in vitro fertilization in the Senior Solutions segment.
I will never forget a visit to the OBGYN in my mid-20s. While I was in the waiting room, a woman with graying hair brought a baby in a carrier into the office. I was ushered into the waiting room, and while I sat in the room with my lovely paper gown, I could hear through the paper-thin walls of the exam room next to me. I could hear the woman's voice ask the doctor, "How much longer do I need to be concerned about getting pregnant again? I'm already 52. His response was, "It could be years. You haven't gone through menopause yet." Her reaction was a blood-curdling shrill, "What?" Naturally, we know a woman's shelf life for having a baby decreases with age, but with modern medicine, she can give birth far beyond menopause.
The oldest woman on record to give birth without in vitro fertilization was 59. The oldest woman to conceive naturally is Dawn Brooke from England, who was 59 at the time. Doctors are miffed, but they thought maybe because she was taking hormone replacement therapy at the time of a romantic getaway, that may have changed something in her system that caused her to ovulate. And she gave birth to a healthy boy in 1997. The record before Dawn was held by a woman in Los Angeles in 1956 at the age of 57. Now we have in vitro fertilization that can prolong the ability for women to conceive. A couple in the US had such empty nest syndrome that they decided to try parenting all over again through IVF when she was 60. Frida Birnbaum is the oldest woman in the US to give birth to twins. But hold on, that's not the oldest woman on record to give birth with a little help from IVF. She was 70. While I may not want to have a 4-year-old at 74, medical science is allowing women to have babies far beyond the usual time period. Amkari Banwar, at the age of 70, gave birth to twins in India, a boy and a girl, in 2008. They were so desperate to have an heir despite their advanced age, they used all their resources, financial resources, their savings, they opened a line of credit, and they sold their family buffalo in order to pay for the IVF. The babies were just 2 pounds at birth. But men, on the other hand, can remain fertile their whole lives, although birth defects increase due to paternal age effect. Sehnita and Joseph, back to you.
Sehnita, my wife had better not come to me when I'm 70
I
and
know.
tell me that we're having twins.
That's all I've got to say. Travel the world at that point, not raising babies. But if you are planning a baby shower or will soon be the guest of honor at a baby shower, as I have been surprised by, you'll have a long list of questions ranging from party favors to what foods to serve.
Event planner Crystal Armstrong joins us next live to make the job of planning a baby shower that much easier. She's going to have tips on keeping it fun and inexpensive. That's
key.
Next in A Taste of Sunrise.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range.
Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Planning a baby shower can be very stressful. I know when my wife was planning for one of her friends, she didn't know what to do, where to begin, what kind of food to serve. Well, event planner Crystal Armstrong is joining us with some ideas that will make planning easy and make the party fun. Welcome, Crystal.
Thank you for having me, Jennifer.
So you've got a lot of stuff here on the table.
This takes a lot of planning.
Not as much as you think. If you plan ahead, you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
So what do you have for us here?
Well, here I have, these are lollipop washcloths.
Oh my gosh, that is so
Aren't
cute.
they adorable?
And you can never have too many washcloths with a newborn.
Exactly. And I made these ahead of time. All you have to do is roll it up like this in a cigar shape.
Okay.
And then you roll it again the opposite way.
Look at you. You
Look
are
at
a
that.
natural, Joseph.
Everybody can be crafty.
So you can
And
just
then
do
you
this
take
in
that
front of the
cloth.
TV.
Tape it closed.
Absolutely. Watch your favorite show.
Exactly.
Wow, the taping
You've got
is the
skills.
The
Mad
taping-
skills over there.
And then you take a lollipop. Just that simple. Another piece of tape.
Oh, my tape is messed up. Let's move to something else while I
Can
get
you
this.
just get those sticks at like a Michael's or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All of this can be found at your local craft store.
Okay, perfect.
And here I would suggest that start your child's library.
That
Why
is a
not?
great idea.
So in your invitation, just say bring a new or used library book, a new or used book, and then have them
in
put a
fact,
message in
my
it.
sister is planning a baby shower for me later this month, and that's one of the ideas she had too. So
Absolutely.
that's a perfect one.
You can even personalize your waters. I just took
Oh
some
my
yarn.
gosh, it's so cute.
Took some yarn and a flower and little cars.
Just go with the theme, the color.
Absolutely.
And this also helps to identify people's water, so it's not laying all over the room with half
Smart.
Exactly.
empty glasses of water.
And all of this can be done at a dollar store, your local dollar store. Just very simple.
You have a garland here and that
Garland?
hangs from, I guess, across the room.
You can hang it across the room. You can hang it vertical. Any
This
which
looks a
way you
little more
want.
complicated to cut these out.
Absolutely not. That's what this is for.
Oh, that is handy. Look at you just, I walk around with my little stamper.
Absolutely. You just stick a little piece of paper in, push it down, and this is what will come out.
Okay, so that's what
And a
for
little,
the garland.
what is that, a little tape on the back with some yarn?
Actually, that's just regular
Little
glue.
Elmer's glue.
Just
Elmer's.
little glue. And again, all this stuff, you do it ahead so you don't feel the pressure the day of the baby shower. And here is a little tip jar. My take on a tip jar.
Okay, what
so
is this
it takes
about?
a village to raise a child, and when you're a new mom, even when you're not a new
Even
mom and you're
when
doing it
even
again,
when you're doing it again,
you can use some
and
advice
done
from
it a couple
Joseph.
times.
Absolutely. So you have a little tip jar with little pieces of paper out. Have your friends and family write little tips for you in your tip jar.
Joseph,
I
you're
thought
gonna have
people
to
were
fill that
giving
up.
money. That's what I thought because new parents need money. So yes, advice is good, but put some cash in there as well.
Absolutely. And a game. You got to have games at baby showers. Would you
Yes.
agree? So this is a little game called Guess the Price.
Oh.
So you have a lot of different things out.
$1.
Everything, not $1.
not these days, huh?
No,
You go to the
ma'am.
99-cent store.
Well, you could, but some of these things mom need, you can't get at the dollar store.
So then you guess the price, and what if you guess it correctly, you get to
win a
take it
prize.
home?
You win a prize. No, mommy gets to keep that.
Oh, and then
Mommy
you
keeps that.
they keep this, and then the guests get to take another prize home.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because when you're hosting, you got to give your guests
Keep
take
it fun, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
absolutely.
let's just get
Let's
down
get to
to
the
the
food.
nitty gritty,
Oh, right.
which is food,
The
because people
food.
come to a shower to eat, don't they?
Mama sure do.
Absolutely.
Mama goes, even
And
when
the
Mama's
guest
not
of
about
honor
it.
is most definitely going to be eating and eating for two.
Absolutely. And
So what do we have here?
Here we have crostinis. We have bruschetta crostini and a chicken crostini.
So what is bruschetta? If some of our listeners are not sure what bruschetta
It's
is.
tomatoes. It's basil, a little garlic, olive oil, salt. It's very simple, very easy to
just
do.
mix those
On,
together.
on a
You can make it
toasted
ahead.
baguette,
On
a slice of toasted baguette.
Absolutely.
And how hard are those chicken ones to make?
Not hard at all. Everything here can be made ahead of time, and that's what I would
So
suggest.
is this just like a shredded chicken breast with pesto and some salt, pepper thrown in?
Actually, it has
He just
herbs.
knows-
Oh,
he-
yes.
he knows how to
yes.
whip
You
it
know
together.
food.
Well,
I'm just guessing if I were to do it.
Absolutely. So this has all types of herbs, and it's just very heavy on the herbs, but it's very delicious.
Okay.
And
And
it's
then for
simple.
dessert,
Dessert is a chocolate parfait. It's a chocolate cake with a little Oh, I'm drawing.
What is
a
that,
blank, but-
pudding? I'm
gonna
But
taste
actually,
one of
pudding.
these is what I'm
please
gonna
do. And it's topped with strawberries.
Can I
Marinated
pass you one,
strawberries.
sir?
I'd like to try the chicken.
Come on
Let
over.
me
Oh,
just
please
reach
do.
over here. Look at me knocking things
That's
down.
quite all right.
Now, is the
And you'll-
tea...
so good. The tea is caffeine free because mommy cannot have caffeine. So
Well,
you,
the rules are changing.
They're
on that.
changing.
I get yelled at here because I drink coffee in the morning.
Mommy,
You can have a little bit, but
This is very good, by the way.
yes, by
the
Chef
chicken.
Mikey, definitely.
It's very good.
Mhm.
Now, for fathers, can you put a little Southern comfort in that tea? That's my question.
Absolutely.
You're talking my game.
Absolutely.
A little bit
It would-
later.
It would be better with.
Let me serve
with a
you
little
up
Southern-
some. I
Here,
wish I had
I'll
the
do that. I'll do
Southern
that.
Comfort to add in there, but it's a little early in the morning.
It's a little early for Southern Comfort, but this is a pomegranate, mint, and lemon tea. Here, let me pour you some.
Now,
as
this
well.
is made scratch, or
Yes.
with any tea that you get at the store. I'm not going to name any brands, but you don't have to get any fancy kind of tea for this.
Absolutely not. And even if you want to get the the regular
Oh,
tea.
this is very good.
Thank you. You can just add
Could
mint
use
to
a
it.
little. I'm
Something,
joking.
something.
Yeah. Now, I have some questions about, like, some of the etiquette rules. Are they changing in baby showers?
Absolutely.
Do men now go to the baby shower? Is that just standard now, or is that still something that's kind of left up to the well, it's always left up to the couple, but at one point it was just women, and then kind of fathers were being
You
involved.
want to go to the baby shower, don't you?
I want to get presents, is what I
you
want
have to have
to
the
do.
baby to get the presents.
Well, I helped. I did a little bit in there.
Part of it, right? Absolutely.
So are men being included more and more?
They
is the
are.
question.
They are. But when men are being included, then I would suggest not to have such a frilly baby shower because you want men to be comfortable while they're there.
Oh.
So.
There's
Oh my gosh.
more gifts.
Oh, but you need presents. We have a little guest here. This is Dr. Michelle's older one, now, well, soon to be older one, Elise. Can you say hi?
Look at that smile.
It's good to have you here. Are you excited to be a big sister? Yeah? It's going to happen soon, huh? Yeah? And what's your favorite thing that you want to show your little sister when she's born? What do you want to teach her? Running around playing. Hi. Well, what are you most excited about having a little sister?
Someone to play with.
Yeah, what is
maybe?
your favorite game that you want to play? What do you like to do?
What do you like to do? Play.
I heard you went to a movie recently. Did you go see Home?
Yeah.
How was it?
Good.
Yeah, you liked it? What's your favorite movie?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob! Who doesn't love SpongeBob, huh? I don't need this microphone. But I want to, this is so awesome.
Well, this has been
whole
a
baby
great
shower.
show, a great baby shower. Sehnita and Dr. Michelle, congratulations.
And
That's
Tammy,
it for now. We want to thank all of our sponsors for supporting our show. And Sehnita, we have a special thanks for Karen Roberson of the Family Promise of San Gabriel Valley, veteran and filmmaker F. Lee Reynolds, and event planner extraordinaire Crystal Armstrong for joining us live in studio.
Thanks also to our segment stars, reporters, and crew, and especially to Tammy Devine out there who really knows how to throw a baby shower on air. And for all of you out there, have a great rest of your day.
We'll see you next time.
I wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summermeals for help.